It's the final round of the Meijer LPGA Classic and Father's Day in 91 countries around the world. It's become a tradition here in Grand Rapids, Michigan for the LPGA to finish this tournament on Father's Day. Amy Yang had the lead overnight, but as you can see, Jennifer Kupcho has had an electric start to her round. 3 birdies and an eagle, which was an ace at the 5th, and she leads by 1. The defending champion, of course, Jennifer Kupcho. Ariya Jutanugarn has played well over the last couple of days to put herself into contention. I'm Tom Abbott alongside Karen Stupples, and out on the golf course is Kay Cockrell and Angela Stanford. And Angela is following Kupcho as she tries to go back-to-back here at Blythefield Country Club. And hello, Angela, and a birdie putt here for Kupcho.
Hello, Tom. Yes, this is downhill. It's going to move right to left. Maybe not her best effort in with her wedge. A little disappointed in that par.
Loves this golf course and really enjoys this golf tournament. She said that outside of the majors, this is her favorite event of the year. You can see that card, pretty impressive, including the ace at the 5th. Here is Amy Yang, the overnight leader, playing in the final 3-ball, and Kay Cockrell is out watching.
Yeah, this putt for birdie to get to 17. And none of the players in this group taking advantage of this short par 5.
Leona Maguire, welcome in Karen Stupples. Your thoughts on today, Karen?
Well, so far, I mean, you've got to get off to a fast start. You should be taking advantage of those par 5s, but we've seen the players really struggle so far on them. And it's a really, you've got to keep your foot on the gas all day long, because the birdies are out there on this golf course. The conditions are absolutely perfect for golf. The greens are rolling pure.
Go back to tee with Amy Yang, one of the best golf swings out here, Kay.
It's a swing you don't get tired of watching. It's just aesthetically pleasing. She gets a good amount of power, and she said that her tempo has really been good this week.
Okay, that's something that she says she's been working on. Swing, yeah.
I honestly don't know when her tempo has ever been bad, but she's probably a little more critical than we are observing her.
I mean, not just her tempo good, but the lines of her swing are pretty spot on.
Go up to the green with Ariya Jutanugarn. They're playing in 3 balls today because of the earlier finish than we've had over the last few days.
Ariya Jutanugarn, Tom, has been basically playing this golf course with a 3-wood and a 2-iron, but she doesn't really need a driver. The 3-wood goes far enough for her. But the big difference so far this week really has been the putter. We know how far she can hit it, but it's when the putter gets on fire is when she's in contention.
Pedersen for a birdie. Pedersen finally making a birdie. It's been somewhat of a frustrating day for Emily. She bogeyed the opening hole, so back to where she started. Has fallen from a tie for 11th at the beginning of the round down to a tie for 17th. A foot away, playing alongside Ariya Jutanugarn and Leona Maguire, an ultimate 3-ball. This is the par.
And Tom, this club has been working really well for her so far for the first 3 rounds. It went a bit cold on her on the back 9 yesterday.
Yeah, she had 3 bogeys back 9 yesterday. Is a very consistent campaigner, foot away, so it was a surprise to see her step back like that. Got 3 par 3s, 3 par 5s, 3 par 4s on the back 9. The first of the par 3s is the 11th, and here is Emily Pedersen.
Tom, quick note, this group was just informed they will be on the clock. This par 3 is playing 164 today. If there's any wind, it's hurting off the left, but just not enough out here to speak of so far. That was an 8-iron.
Okay, and this is the group with Kupcho in it, so that could have an effect going on the clock for the leader of the Meijer LPGA Classic right now. We'll keep an eye on that. The 3rd member is Carlota Segunda, who does have a reputation as not being the quickest player on the LPGA. Ariya Jutanugarn just cleaning up there at the 9th. And we'll go back over to 11. Check in with Kupcho.
And Tom, she's also going with an 8-iron, and you know the front of the green's 143, but directly on line with it, you need to get it about 5 or 6 on. The problem is this green's been so firm all week. You're better off airing right in this whole location, but that looks too far right.
Can't go too far by on that line. It falls down quite steep slope behind the green there. It's rough to deal with. She's okay.
Has to be a little different for her, given how well she's played the par 3 so far today. So not actually put one in close there.
So she combined 3 shots so far from the par 3s. Lee here.
On the 13th hole, Tom, playing 181 yards today. So the tee been moved back forward in front of the river.
But yesterday it was back on the other side of the Rogue River.
Had a close look at that river yesterday.
Yes, I was out on the water and players were hitting right over my head, which was actually very cool.
Yeah.
We positioned ourselves so they couldn't see us in the kayak down there on the Rogue River. Today, not an issue. Alison got off to a really good start yesterday, had 4 birdies in the first 8 holes. It looked like she was going to challenge the top of the leaderboard by the end of the day, but then didn't make another birdie for the rest of the round and bogeyed 17.
I mean, I think when you look at Alison, I think you look at a little bit of mental toughness with her. I mean, she burst out onto the scene, played Solheim Cup, and then kind of lost her way a little bit with her golf game. Is now fighting her way back out here on tour and putting herself into some decent positions.
Right.
Here's a player who's put herself in some good
Exactly,
spots.
that's perfect.
Ashley View high.
Right now, hang on a second. Still, it's off the left.
It should be off the right. No, it's back in off the right slightly. I still like a 50. That's 3. That's 3 on. 50, 58 on. Probably a nice one on it.
Yeah. Okay. Come on.
Unlike last week when she started out with a couple of birdies en route to winning the ShopRite, she started out with 2 bogeys today. One of them was a 3-putt, which I don't think she had a 3-putt all last week. 6-iron in hand here. Just trying to hit it a little past the front. It sounded solid. A little right of the flag.
Sit down. Sit.
This is the Swiss, Morgan McCrow. This for a birdie at the 14th. And Morgan has really turned it on since the 8th. She is now 5 under par in that stretch, as you can see.
Good to see a former 7-0 play well.
Yes, Florida State, just like yourself.
You've got the little gold shirt on today.
Xiu Lin was missed it on the 9th. Easy to do because it kind of runs away there.
Yeah, the rough really cuts in quickly on the left, but she's drawn a pretty decent lie. She's in some dried out rough. Shouldn't affect the ball too much. A slight downhill lie. And she's hitting the shot with an 8-iron, but pushed it well right. Not solid contact at all.
Janet Lin, Xiu Lin, has been suffering from COVID the last few weeks. Had to take a couple of weeks off. She was ready to come back and play the ShopRite LPGA Classic, having worked on her game, but was just not well enough to play. Now, Amy Yang.
Amy, after that beautiful drive, just 138 yards in, she's able to fire at the flagstick with a short iron.
Get it to 17 under par, which would tie Jennifer Kupcho, unless she makes this one here at the 11th, Angela.
Yeah, Tom, the thing I'm learning about these greens now that I'm kind of watching from the side is that there are so many little subtleties. Like, it looks like this ball wants to move a little left, flatten out, maybe a little right in the wind. think that's why speed is so important out here. And she just kind of lost that one right.
Yeah, that was a complete misread, wasn't it?
Yeah, I never saw it going that far right.
This is Manon Roy. Made her first cut of the year last week, and wow, that was not easy on there, 10.
No, and you can see she looked a little bit anxious on that too. The stroke wasn't very smooth. It looked like she rushed through impact there.
Christine Pedersen.
I think this putt is a little bit faster in the end. This whole green kind of runs away in the back of it. First part's pushed a little right, but it's a good roll.
Yeah, trying to get up and down for a par now, Manon Roy. Bogeys over her first 7 holes. Hedge Choi down at 13. Get her to 13 under par inside the top 8. Maybe rounding into form for next week's KPMG Women's PGA.
You thought that the major championships would suit her. I mean, she had an opportunity to win a US Open when she was just a number of years ago.
That the country club of Charleston. Is that the year?
I think it was a Bedminster.
Then 9th.
Plenty of green to work with. A good level, clean lie in the bunker. Made that look very routine.
Yeah, very good. Great distance there, which I know amateur players find so difficult with bunker play. Now, Hyo-Joo Kim. It's been a very busy stretch for Hyo-Joo Kim, finishing 3rd in career a couple of weeks ago. Last week, a near miss at the ShopRite LPGA Classic, and then on the leaderboard here, Kupcho for a par.
Hey Karen, I wonder, you know, Kupcho gets off to this crazy hot start. And then she didn't birdie the easiest hole in the golf course, 8. She made par since. Now she's looking at this, but do you think she kind of looked at the leaderboard?
I think all of a sudden you kind of jog yourself back into, wait a minute, what am I doing? And that was very wishy stroke. Wasn't very aggressive on the line if she wanted to hit that. I mean, all of the par 5s, she hasn't birdied any of the par 5s so far today.
Well, she has consistently said that she's not going to watch leaderboards, you know, and that's her new mental focus. In fact, she's been marking the leaderboards in her yardage book to tell her not to look in that direction. But there comes a time when you've got to have a peek, surely, to know what's going on, Kay, as we watch Boo High here.
I agree, and this was a birdie putt from 50 feet, but I think a lot of players use that mentality at least to get them through the first 9 holes, maybe 11, 12 holes, and then have some sort of signal with your caddy as to whether you need to play conservatively or be aggressive.
I think it comes down to a competitiveness of the player too. Like if you want to be in the game and you want the ball, you want to know where you stand.
Right. 10th.
Player who's been hit the ball really well. Hasn't been making any cuts, so good to see her there. With a much more patient looking stroke.
Manon Roy did not make her par. We saw her having some issues on the left side of that green. So it's going to be another bogey for Manon Roy. Back over to 9, and Amy Yang.
Normally, I would say that was a decent shot she had in, but now she has to putt up and over a little mound. That really makes this putt a little more complicated. If she had been a couple paces to the right or a little more hole high right, she would have had a much easier putt.
Up 1 to Leona Maguire, second at 10. Also certainly firmer and faster than it was at the beginning of the week. They had some rain here on Monday. But it was dried out nicely. They had 6 weeks with really no rain coming into tournament week, which is why you can see it's browned out. Minjee Lee, tee at the 15th. Tee moved up. Flag in an accessible spot, and that is a great tee shot from Minjee. It's going to be a tap-in birdie, and she will get to 12 at the par. Let's go back over to 10, and Ariya Jutanugarn second.
Looked like she got a little shallow on that one. Dropped the club a little bit on the inside, got stuck behind the ball there. Just left it out to the right.
Left bunker shot coming up for Ariya Jutanugarn. It's the final round of the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. We're in Belmont, Michigan this week. T10th as the final group makes the turn here in the final round of the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. And this is Shiyu Lin.
Tom, the personality of this par 5 has changed dramatically since the last couple days. It was playing back into the breeze. Now a little bit of wind almost helping from the left. With a good drive here, the longer hitters will have a chance to get on or very close to this par 5 and 2 today.
Run through into that rough.
Right edge of that tree today.
It looked like she was aiming just a little bit down that left side. Maybe trying to go for a little fade. It just didn't move.
Now Amy Yang.
It's definitely safer to aim down the left for the longer hitters because it's 290 to that farthest bunker on the left, whereas the bunker on the right, you can hit it into it if you don't hit a very good drive. Amy with full power should be able to get there in 2 if she hits a good drive.
She even said that in an interview that she was even narrowing down her focus even more, so trying to really figure out what side of the fairway she wants to hit it to, and that has gone past that bunker on the left.
Swinging putt from right to left here at the 15th for Aditi Ashok. Third birdie in a 4-hole stretch, and I think that's going to drop. Well done. Gets her to 4 under for the day.
Kind of used to seeing her pouring the putts.
The putter gets hot. She is one of the best in the game. Up at the 10th, this is the really kind of awkward shot for a lot of people, Karen. I know the tour pros spend time on all parts of their game, and they would dial in the distance from the bunker, even on a 60 or 70 yard shot, but it's still a horrible distance.
It's really tough. I mean, she's probably got, you know, looking at my yardage book, I'd say that's a shot of about 40 yards, maybe slightly, yes, but she's definitely not. You can see that's got less loft on it than a wedge even. I think that might even be a 9-iron, something like that, to try and get this to land on the green and run. It's not bad. I mean, it's very difficult to judge. If you were to pull out a lob wedge, it's too much loft. You've got to hit it too hard, judge it too perfectly. With a 9-iron, you can hit that chunk. It's going to come out lower and just run.
Menadore on the tee here, 11. Good shot there, nice response. Over to the 10th. A little bit easier here for Ariya.
Yeah, she's at the front of that bunker. But she's still got a lot of green to take to the hole.
We'll have that for a birdie to take the lead.
Could be an awkward putt though. Looks like it's going to have a little right move on it.
Pauline Racine. 14 under par. It's hard to see players jockeying for position here. You've always got to remember that the 18th hole does provide an eagle opportunity. So even if you're coming into that that closing hole 2 back or even 3 behind, if a player slips up on 18, it does add a level of excitement to the closing stage at Blythefield, which has been the home of the Meijer LPGA Classic from the beginning. Kupcho, having missed that short putt on the previous green, has not driven it into the best spot here, Angela.
I'm waiting to see if she's going to get both feet in this bunker. It looked like she had 1 foot out when she was assessing it. She has 112 to the whole location. It looks like her back foot's going to stay out of the bunker. It makes it a little bit more difficult.
Becomes a much more handsy swing, doesn't it, when it's like that, Angela?
Yes.
Did that just dive into the bunker?
So as we look there, the lower body is essentially taken out of the equation here for her, just because of the awkward stance. Low's okay, but coming through, everything stays static. Normally you'd see her firing through a lot more than that, and she just has to throw her hands at the ball and pour a little bit too much sand on that.
Leona Maguire has come so close to winning this in the last couple of years, and in fact has a kind of a running battle with Jennifer Kupcho, which goes back to their time in college.
Through the Solheim Cup.
Yeah, and then into the Solheim Cup. They played each other in the singles. Maguire won 5-4.
And having followed Maguire a little bit around here these past couple of years, she does tend to do better on the back nine. I think she's a player that would like to look at the scoreboards too.
Yeah, she's a gamer.
Yeah.
Every shot counts here for Manon Roy. I know every shot counts for every player in the field, but even more so for Manon Roy, because she's just trying to place herself in the race to the CME Globe and be able to keep her card for next year. She could do with a few more birdies. She's 171st coming into the week, projected 133rd with that birdie. So moving up the rankings, very important task for her as the season continues. Top 100 will keep their cards at the end of the season. Now Ariya for a putt here to take the lead.
She's been playing the par fives quite well. Not really a surprise with her distance.
Yeah, we've heard players talk about the fact that this really is a par 68 in their minds. 5 par 5s out there.
And it's somewhat unusual in the LPGA that players can actually feel like they can just open up their shoulders and hit driving in places and get the ball down there a long way.
It didn't go into the bunker, but in the rough here for Kupcho.
Yeah, she did pretty good there. I mean, that ball was well below her feet in the rough, sitting down a little bit. And she did the best she could do there.
Important putt for Kupcho to hold, though. You don't want to drop 2 shots in a row at this time in the proceedings.
So we got 256.
Now in the does that little drill with ease.
That is a good drill for you, Tom.
I tell you what, there must be other people at home watching thinking, if I tried that, I might might never play the game again.
I'm looking at the next hole.
I would say
The whole side there? That's fine as well. Yep. Love it.
I would say that if you're a baseball player, then that drill would be perfect for you because you're working on your shoulder turn.
And you know a lot about these things because you have a son who's a very good baseball player.
Kay would too.
Exactly. We could all use a little more shoulder turn. 235 to the front. Oh, not her best swing. I mean, she definitely needed her A-plus shot to get there in 2, but she had a chance.
I think it's an easier shot to end it there, and you could tell she's like, oh, that's just not me. But she knows, like, the smile is there because she knows that if you have to miss it anywhere, short and left really isn't a bad spot.
And she has a smiley face on her hat, and she designed the logo herself. So she happy personality out there, even when she doesn't hit a great shot. Go down into the lower part of the golf course, sort of meadow that's right by the river. And 4 or 5 holes down here, and then you go up into the rest of the golf course. And Kupcho with a putt here to remain at 16 under par.
And I heard you say earlier, Tom, I mean, you're right. You can't make back-to-back bogeys on the back 9 of this golf course on Sunday. And I think, I guess what I was getting at earlier about looking at leaderboards, she had to know, even if she didn't look at a leaderboard, she had to know that, okay, I know I'm definitely in the mix. I'm at 17 under. And I just wonder, coming off of Mizuho being so close, I just wonder if she just kind of like, okay, I got another chance, and maybe just kind of lost focus, and now, yeah, that's back-to-back bogeys are really hard, like, right here on Sunday in the back.
There's always something that can take you away from your process and being process orientated, and realizing where you stand in the lead would definitely class as one of those.
Ariya now on the tee, 11. And that's a good tee shot from the tie. And another chance to edge ahead. Kupcho's going to fall back, of course. Pauline was seen. Come up short here at 15. It's not a long hole. There is a bit of a false front on the right at the beginning of this green.
I think sometimes when you see players do that, they're a little bit in between clubs, and they try and force the shorter of the 2 clubs because they know the greens are starting to firm up, and then you don't quite strike it as well because you're putting a little bit too much into it.
It's tough to get the bounce up if you're pitching it short on some of these par 3s. 13's pretty flat, but there's a rise up there at 15. Maguire on the tee at 11. Pretty well done there. The other factor for Kupcho, Angela, was going on the clock potentially. Do you think that may have rattled her a little bit?
I think so. That never helps. I mean, I know Kupcho's a faster player than most, but I think a lot of time, I know when I get put on the clock, and I feel like I'm a pretty fast player, you're more worried about the other players. Like, you're kind of frustrated that it's not your fault that you've been put on the clock, and here you are on the clock. So I think there are a couple of things that just kind of, she just kind of lost her focus, and she was pretty frustrated after she missed that par putt.
But she would know. I mean, she knows that Saganda is particular in the way that she plays the game. So when she looks at the draw for this final round, you're playing alongside Saganda in 3 balls. You know that you've got to know in your mind that potentially you could be a little slower than other groups.
And I think she probably knew that, but then she, you have a hole-in-one, you birdie the next 2 holes, and you just get this burst of energy, and you just want to go. It's like being a racehorse, like you just want to go.
Yeah. Well, Kupcho can show some frustration.
Yeah, and you can see that, like you can see her there. She's obviously mad at herself, but she's trying to contain it all and kind of gather herself in that moment to get on to the next one. You've got to stay in that moment as best you can and not let those emotions get on top of you. It's hard sometimes.
Amy Yang at the 10th. Yes, it's delightful.
That was a 60-yard shot. She almost hit it that exact number.
And it's going to be a birdie for Amy Yang. She's going to get to 17 under par here. We're back here in the final round of the Meijer LPGA Classic. Amy Yang has tapped in her birdie, so she's taken the lead at 17 under par. This is Maguire to get to 16 under. She's just going to stay 2 shots back. Par 5 to come, 14. Par 5 at 18. Some difficult holes in there, but the 17th hole, the tee has been moved up today, so that makes it a little easier. Swanapura for an eagle here at 14. Should be a birdie for Jasmine.
I think this will give us a little, insight as to what's going to happen as we watch the leaders come through here. Obviously a very reachable hole today as well, because Jasmine isn't the longest of players.
Now Ariya for her birdie at the 11th. This would tie the lead. Got it.
Well, she's rolling her ball really well.
She was outside of the top 100 after the opening round. Ariya Jutanugarn, and then suddenly just loosened up a little bit and let it happen out there. Lynn for a birdie at 10.
Yeah, this to keep pace.
Oh yeah, and she wants to win. She's come so close.
I mean, and through no fault of her own, she hasn't won either. Like, somebody has just come and played better.
Checking with Ayaka Furue. At the 11th, this for par. Won last year during the LPGA's swing through Europe, which is coming up in a few weeks' time. We'll be defending in Northern Ireland. Good tee at the 11th. Shiyu Lin to go.
Now with this back left hole location, Tom, it's really important not to be overly aggressive, because if you hit it over the flagstick, it just releases off the green. Ideally, you could position your ball a little short and a little right of this flagstick to have the easiest putt.
Let me just correct myself. Ayaka Furue won in Scotland, not Northern Ireland.
Left of it, that would be all the way the last piece. You can see it's 54.
Wind's off to the left.
Yeah, breezes off to the left.
Just a stronger.
Yeah, I'm just trying to build breeze right there. Yeah, breezes just off to the left. Not much there right now. I think it's fairly normal. You don't have any hurt in this, right?
That wind off the left is really just kind of a little puff of wind. The players have dealt with much stronger wind the last couple of days.
And you don't really want your final yardage to be the actual yardage of the hole. You want to be a little bit short of that, because if you leave this out to the right, you will run off the green.
Yeah, trying to land at 155, 158. Yeah, something right in that general area is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
It's a player who was 8th in the race to the CME Globe standings last year. Finished second 3 times on tour in 2022. Hyo-Joo Kim for a birdie at 12.
Burnt a few edges last week too, where she narrowly just missed out getting into a playoff with Ashley Pugh.
Amy Yang, tee at 11.
Going with the same club that Shiyu Lin hit, the 7-iron. And I think if you can ideally draw it back into that left to right tilting green and that little left to right breeze these would be perfect. She sent that very high in the air. Should drop down pretty softly.
Jennifer Kupcho to turn things around. Drop shots at 11 and 12.
When you're somebody like Jennifer, you hit a lot of greens in regulation, you give yourself plenty of opportunities for birdie. Putting can be immensely frustrating because you have so many opportunities and so many chances.
Stays 2 behind, but she's going to the par 5.
Something unusual for the LPGA Tour. You don't often see a 30-year-old rookie.
Yeah. It has experience on the Ladies European Tour. Well done, back-to-back birdies, and won last year at the Aramco Team Series in Bangkok. But this is a different league out here on the LPGA. 2 players tied at the top. Back at the 11th for par 3. 2 players tied at the top right now. Ariya Jutanugarn and Amy Yang. Both proven winners on the LPGA Tour.
Though it's strange to say that with Amy's 4 wins, she has never won in the United States proper. And that's something she hopes to change today.
It was funny, she was asked about that yesterday, I think by Angela Stanford, and it was almost as though she hadn't noticed. She's won around the world. You mentioned the 4 wins in Asia, 1 in Korea, 3 in Thailand, and then on the Ladies European Tour she's won in Australia, in Germany, and the Scandinavian Ladies TPC.
This is an uphill putt. Lynn looking at what it's doing near the hole. And Amy kind of over borrowed.
Jutanugarn second at the 12th, and Angela Stanford has joined this group.
And she obviously does not have a driver in her bag. I guess I shouldn't say obviously. Most people don't know she doesn't carry a driver. So she had quite a ways in. That was 163, the whole location. That was an 8-iron.
And one of the reasons, if you're asking, if you're curious as to why that is, she likes to have an extra wedge in the bag as well. Obviously, she's been a little wayward with the driver too, but her 3-wood goes so far, she doesn't really need the driver, plus she likes the extra wedge. I mean, think about Rory at LA Country Club this week. He's put an extra wedge in the bag. Ariya likes that wedge too.
Ji Lin.
I think she has a really good sense of what this does. It should peel gently right. A little bit uphill.
Leona Maguire second at 12.
Leona has 119. This whole location's only 9 paces on.
Straight. Straight.
I thought it was going to bounce up close to the hole. We have a number of players that could win this today. I mean, this is not a case of, well, you know, they've never done it before. They might not be able to get through the finishing post. Ali Ewing. That's nicely done. At 16, up the hill. You can't see the bottom of the flag, so it's really a case of trying to get the reaction from the crowd and guess where it finished when you're down on the fairway. Now Amy Yang for par.
These are stress-inducing length putts. Got to expend a lot of energy and focus to get this back in the hole.
Yeah.
That's well done, Tom. She missed a couple of those yesterday on the back 9.
So Amy Yang tied for the lead, trying to win for the first time on US soil. Back here in the final round at Blythefield, and Ariya Jutanugarn putting from the back of the green at the 12th.
Yeah, and this is kind of frustrating because it's a shorter par 4. I think this is a longer putt than she expected on this green. It's going to test her speed. She's been putting so well this week. Last little bit's supposed to run away from her.
A little work to do to remain at 17 under par.
First tree you come to, those people.
Go back up to the tee. It's quite a downhill drop from tee to fairway on this 12th. Reverse is coming back up to 16th, which we talked about. Just the way to the right. There you go. You can look at it.
A little bit variable. I think you just have a touch of help. All right, get you a good one there.
Tom, the yardage book says it's 23 yards down, but I'd almost give it 30, especially with a little bit of wind helping. Those right bunkers can certainly come into play if you push it. Going with less than driver guarantees hitting into the wider area of the fairway.
Yeah, not bringing those bunkers into play. Also, it's quite warm out there today, so the ball is flying quite well.
Leona Maguire for a birdie at 12.
This is all uphill. She can give it a good run. Oh, too hard.
Yeah, now she's wishing she hadn't. Now back to the tee with Amy Yang.
Also going with less than driver. She carries a 3-wood and a 3 hybrid. And this isn't a long hole, so it's really a matter of being whatever you're comfortable with off the tee. And she's laid herself a good distance behind.
Yeah, just over 400 yards on the card. The way the whole shapes dogleg from right to left. Par putt for Ariya to stay at 17 under par and tied for the lead.
I wouldn't say there's much to this putt. If anything, it might sneak left on her, but it's in the hole. She did see Leona's putt go past the hole. She was on the opposite side of where Ariya's putting now.
She didn't get that started on where she had it lined up. She had it lined up just inside the right edge, and the ball started on the whole ball on the right edge.
So it's going to be a drop shot for Jutanugarn. She's going to fall back to 16 under par, assuming that one goes in, and Amy Yang will have the lead. Today who's been to the top of the game area, the first player to win the Rolex Player of the Year on the LPGA Tour and the race to the CME Globe in the same season back in 2016. Major champion. Now, Leona Maguire saved par and stayed 2 back.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Ariya, that was her first 3-putt of the week. Like just said, she's been putting so well. Leona got a good look at that putt before her.
Looked like she was aimed a little to the right.
I
of the line
know,
there.
the ball was aimed in the middle of the hole, and her putter face was aiming a little on the right edge. That last minute adjustment you make when you stand over it, rather than have to back off and reline the ball up again.
For the 14th, and Kupcho second, par 5, remember.
See, drive got down there quite a long way.
Oh my God.
Upslope in front of the green. I thought that was going to get the hop to the green. Now she's going to have a bit of work to do. Obviously, our camera flattens it out.
A little awkward,
Yeah,
because the flag's going to be quite close. Doesn't have much green to use.
that was just a yard or 2 away from giving her a chance for another eagle today. Bogey putt here. 16 under, 1 behind. So it's pretty relaxed. Big star in Thailand, had a movie made about her. Thailand, I haven't had a chance to see it yet.
Me either.
It's been out of 15. G. Been the best of days for me.
No, but still competitive out on the LPGA Tour. You know, has a longer career than a lot of Korean players do. Come out here. Major champion, won the US Women's Open at Saucon Valley.
And longevity. The word that comes to mind with Uni G. She's level par for the day, but you're falling back quite a way if you're not under par on this golf course here.
Yeah, just hit this normal. What do you like here?
Tree trunk in between pin and the
Yeah.
draw.
Perfect.
Amy's pulled a 7-iron out. She's a good 30 yards behind Shi-Hu Lin. I think that wind, that little breeze, almost feels like it's slightly hurting once we're down here at these second shots. Same club that she just hit on the last hole. Trying to draw it in, but it's hanging out.
Quite a long putt there.
She has had a couple of great putts, but
It's Jasmine Suwanapura, 5 under for the day. Up the hill. Back over to 12. Lin.
I think I feel that little touch of help onto that, they're almost right straight at it.
This is where a more aggressive tee shot pays off, and that Shi Lin has just a pitching wedge in her hand, and much easier to dial this in, get it closer, and even a missed pitching wedge is going to maybe put her 20-25 feet at worse.
Super shot from Janet Lin. She will have a putt, most likely to tie the lead. What a day this could be for a player who has never won on the LPGA Tour before. Leona Maguire on the tee at 13.
Those are 5 hybrid. 181.
A chance for birdie as Maguire looks to move up towards the top of this leaderboard. I think there's going to be a lot of movement as the day continues here. A number of players that could get it done on a beautiful day in Belmont, Michigan.
On the brink of summertime, it's a hot, beautiful afternoon on Father's Day just outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan for the final round of the LPGA's Meijer Classic for Simply Give. Get ready for an exciting finish with a back nine setup that brings as much heat as Mother Nature. It was on the front nine, though, that defending champion Jennifer Kupcho got the party started. She dunked a pitching wedge for an ace at the par 3 fifth, followed it with birdie at 6, and then another marvelous shot here at the 7th. To lead to another birdie. She would get it to 17 under, but would cool down as the day progressed. Amy Yang, moments later, the overnight leader, hits this stylish shot to set herself up for an easy birdie to retake the individual lead at -17. She has birdied this hole every day as she vies for her first win on American soil. Ariya Jutanugarn of Thailand is also on a tear. This birdie at 11 gets her to 17 under and a share of the lead with Yang at the time. She would give a shot back at 12. Here is the latest update for you. Amy Yang with the one-shot narrow lead, chasing win number 5 in her career. It would be number 13 for Jutanugarn. This is still anyone's tournament. It's closing time in Michigan. CBS Sports and the LPGA Tour bring you the final round of the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give, part of the season-long race to the CME Globe. Happy Father's Day from all of us at CBS Sports. Dads everywhere are being spoiled today, and rightfully so. Enjoying precious moments with their families as they take in the golf, a couple of passes, and the surrounding sights here at Blythefield Country Club, the nearby Rogue River. Perched right alongside it, we're in Belmont, Michigan, 38 miles east of Lake Michigan, 11 miles northeast of Grand Rapids. Blythefield Country Club, this near 100-year-old venue, has hosted all 9 editions of this, yes, young, but firmly established event on the calendar. Every woman who's won it is a major champion. And we have a couple of major champions with us for our broadcast team today in the form of Karen Stupples and Angela Stanford. Also along for the ride, I am Kelly Tillman, joined by Tom Abbott and 2-time U.S. Women's Amateur Champion Kay Cockrell. Seen some thrilling golf already today, including a hole-in-one earlier by the defending champion Jennifer Kupcho. Ariya Jutanugarn is trying to get back to her winning form. She's up to her old ways, Karen.
She is, and when that putter gets hot, she is really dangerous, and that's really the difference maker for Ariya.
Great looking card, apart from the drop shot at 12, as we say hello to Kay Cockrell with this group. It includes the 54-hole leader, Amy Yang.
Good afternoon. A very challenging 50-footer for Amy Yang. Just trying to make this an easy 2-putt.
Good speed.
Necessarily the easiest, we shall see.
So the 13th, this is Leona Maguire from Ireland, who's finished as a runner-up here the last couple of years. Wants to get the win, Angela. This for birdie.
Yes, Tom. It's about time that she
Yeah. Well, she's just seen Ariya Jutanugarn knock one in on that same hole, and she knows that she can't let players get too far ahead here. When she puts those sunglasses on, she's a serious competitor. When she takes them off, she's delightful and fun.
And here at the 12th with Shiyu Lin. There's a chance to get it to 17 under. Beautiful touch. As we say hello to you from Blythefield Country Club. This tournament established in the year 2014. That's the same rookie season for Shiyu Lin. We just saw a drop a putt there. This leaderboard is packed, and that is not an unfamiliar sight in this tournament, is it, Karen?
No, it really isn't, and you really have to keep your foot on the gas out here too. You've seen putts go in from all over the place just recently too. Everybody jockeying for position, and coming down the stretch, it's going to get really interesting too. You've got 14 reachable par 5, couple of tougher holes in between there, but then you come on to the 18th as well, another reachable par 5 that players can make eagle on. All in all, you've got to keep going, you've got to keep attacking. You cannot wait for somebody to fall apart, because it's not going to happen on this golf course.
Kupcho's a major champion. Jutanugarn is a 2-time major champion. The woman at the top right now, Amy Yang, came close last month. Her chance at the Chevron, and she couldn't quite get it done. She still wants one, and here she is trying to break the tradition of major champions being the winners here.
I kind of almost class Amy Yang as a major champion anyway. She's put herself in position so many times. She's come second at US Opens. She's been that player that everybody has talked about that should be a major champion. So it wouldn't be a surprise to see her performing well in the majors coming up. I mean, we've got one next week.
This is the last regular event before the next 2 major championships. We have the KPMG Women's PGA Championship at Baltusrol. Can't wait for that. And also the U.S. Women's Open at Pebble Beach. A couple of back-to-back stunners. So let's get back to the action here with Shiyu Lin.
13th, the Rogue River flowing around the back of this tee, and there is actually a tee on the other side of the river which they used yesterday. Take a little bridge across to that tee, but today forward, there it is. It makes it very difficult from the back tee. It's still a tricky hole from this forward tee, Kay.
It is. It's one of the more demanding par threes out here, and I think that's because it's one of the more tilted greens, so very important to keep the ball below the hole, and with this right, sort of back right hole location, below left would be ideal. She has a 6-iron in her hand. The greens are really firming up out here, so she's allowing for a little hit and release.
Work out. I think she thought it might be leaking too far right, but it's actually going to give her a good chance for a birdie. We've only had 7 birdies here today, and we've just seen a couple go in. So these players really on top form. To the tee at 14.
How much does Leona Maguire want this tournament? Runner-up each of the last 2 years.
Crucial part of getting to this hole into is that drive, and down the right side is not a bad spot to be this year, Angela, is it?
It is 6.
You're right, Karen. I tell you, I love these finishing holes here. Blythefield. Now, Ariya's on the tee. In the 3-wood, Ariya does not carry a driver, and I will tell you, she doesn't need a driver. I've played against her so much, and I love watching her hit the golf ball. When she's engaged and her putter's hot, you better look out. Oh, this is going left.
Penalty area down there.
What a fortunate bounce right into the middle of the fairway.
That could be the difference maker right there.
Chance she saw that too, so hopefully breathing a little bit more easily at 15.
Here's Kupcho. Showed you her highlights at the beginning of the broadcast. Got to the top of the leaderboard, fell back with a couple of bogeys, but then birdied the 14th, was just shy of the green in 2. And she's got another chance for a birdie there, currently 1 back. On the tee at the 13th, it's Amy Yang.
She's going with 1 club more than she or Lynn hit. She's going with the 5-iron. Ideally, to try to get close to this flagstick, you'd want to aim a little left with a cut shot.
Long-time resident of Orlando in Florida, originally from South Korea. Never won on U.S. soil.
And she's going right at it.
Yes, look at this. Wonderful. So many players are hungry to win here at the Meijer LPGA Classic. We are in for some great golf over the next couple of hours or so. That was really close. They're making this hole look easy, Karen. It's anything but.
I know, and Amy did exactly as Kay was suggesting, a nice little fade there towards that whole location. Just magnificent.
One of the most popular events on the LPGA Tour, the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. It's summertime in Michigan.
Hello, I'm Rick Keys, President and CEO of Meijer, a Grand Rapids, Michigan-based retailer with more than 260 supercenters and grocery stores across the Midwest. We're a family company that cares about the communities we serve, and we're excited to welcome some of the world's best golfers back to Grand Rapids for the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. This event has always been more than a golf tournament. It's a partnership with our community to help those experiencing food insecurity across the Midwest. And this year, the need remains great. Our 8 previous tournaments generated more than $8.5 million to help our food pantry partners feed families in need. And we look forward to making an even bigger impact this year. On behalf of Meijer, I'd like to thank the LPGA, volunteers, tournament staff, and the great team at Blythefield Country Club who are helping make this year our best yet. And to the community food pantries supported by Simply Give, you have our deepest appreciation.
The Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give is sponsored by Meijer. When we compete, we help feed neighbors in need.
Kupcho for a birdie at the 15th. Tie for the lead. Far away, came very close to winning a few weeks ago. Mizuho Classic. Excuse me, Mizuho America's Open.
Just beaten out by Roseanne.
Yeah, that was at Liberty National in New York.
Just a little sidebar note there, Karen.
I just got a name drop.
Stephanie Meadow at 16. This was just a moment ago. Brilliant. Number 13.
You lit. Great look at birdie here, Kay.
You can say that again. I really love the look of this putt. She's underneath the hole. It will have some right to left break. How much depends how firmly she hits this. She started out with a bogey today, but she has climbed back into this championship with 4 birdies. This would be her 5th birdie today.
She's been battle tested, Kay. She's lost in a playoff. She's been close before. She knows how to handle these situations.
I remember seeing her walking off the green when she just lost in that playoff at the JM Eagle LA Championship. You could just see in her face this fear of maybe I will never win on this tour. I mean, she's come so close. She's talked about the fact that it goes through her head that she may never win, and breaking through that barrier, which is so difficult on the LPGA Tour. We take it for granted, don't we, watching golf week in, week out. We see players winning, but actually getting to that point of being able to win on the biggest stage in women's golf is very, very difficult. It could come today. Of course, Shi Yu Lin goes by Janet. You might hear referred to as Janet Lin occasionally. Is Amy Yang, 16 years on the tour and has not won in America. It would be a big day today for Amy Yang if she were to win, Kay.
Yeah, I think if you asked anybody who's followed her career since the start, they would shake their head thinking, how has she not won multiple times in the U.S. and a major championship or two? She has all the tools needed to be a great player. This downhill ticklish putt for birdie. That putt was more difficult than the uphill putt that Shi Yu Lin had, even though it was closer, because of the tilt of the green.
A lot of exciting headlines developing this week. The Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Amy Yang was your 54-hole leader. Only 2 54-hole leaders have gone on to win in the 9-year history of this tournament. See if she can become the 3rd. Ashley Buhai was a part of the story early in this final round, but had a struggle at the beginning. She's the most recent winner on tour here in the field at the ShopRite LPGA Classic. She won. And also Ayaka Furuwe, who ties her career low 54-hole scoring. She led after the first round with a few others, was the solo leader at the 36-hole mark. Stumbled down the back 9 yesterday, but trying to muster up something here in this final round.
And that, you know, we talk a lot about momentum with golf. Kind of the momentum was taken from her with the back 9 yesterday, and she struggled to regain that again today. Everybody else is going low, and she's just kind of treading water where she is. It makes it very difficult.
It was such a strong start. Now Leona Maguire, her 2nd at 14.
And she has 2 of 7 to the front, 213 to the hole locations, only 6 on. Little wind helping. She needs to keep this left and short, ideally. Oh, what a shot.
Well,
that was really good.
She seems to get that little bit of sort of competitiveness, fire in her, that bit between the teeth that needs to produce shots when she has to.
Take a look at Ariya's reaction to this shot.
Yeah. She's always good like that, Ariya. Like she definitely can appreciate good when it happens.
Yang just cleaning up for par here. Okay, so a 3 after that very good tee shot, and she finds herself 1 back. Yulin ahead to the 14th.
After a very lucky kick out of the trees, back into the fairway, she laid up to here. Now her 3rd.
Yeah, and I thought she was going to go for it. She had 272 back there, but I wonder, after getting the kick off the tree, she thought, well, maybe I should just lay it up and get a wedge in my hand, but she needs to be careful here. Like I said, the whole location's only 6 on. She does have some room behind it to use the backslope if she wants, but she has to carry it 110 to make sure it stays on the green. She's right in between both of her wedges.
Yeah, it's fine.
Not too bad, Karen.
No, that's exactly what she was trying to do. I think she felt like she had a better chance of making birdie by laying up. She does have an extra wedge in the bag.
On the 14th tee now, Shi Yulin.
Important to be confident with this tee shot and just rip it down the right center. Oh, that was solid.
What a big bounce there. That one will run out, just barely hold on to the fairway's edge. Well, it's going to be a very exciting finish here in Belmont, Michigan. It's tied at the top. Back at the 14th here at the Meijer LPGA Classic, we're simply give Amy Yang.
Hoping to put her 273 yard driving average this week to good use here. This looks like a good line.
She has been so steady.
It's just such an efficient golf swing. I mean, it's just wonderful to watch.
Up at the green, a birdie chance for Ariya Jutanugarn and a share of the lead. I think we're going to be saying this a lot for the rest of the day.
Yeah, we're going to. You're right. I mean, everybody's just jockeying for position. They're all. That 18th hole is going to be outrageous.
3 par 5s, 3 par 3s on this back 9. 2 2s already on the card for Jutanugarn. Minjee Lee, this is up at the 18th, and an eagle try. Minjee, a major champ, trying to sharpen the claws ahead of the KPMG Women's PGA Championship coming next week and the U.S. Women's Open at Pebble Beach in a few weeks' time. And her brother, Minwoo Lee, is actually holding down a tie for 12th right now at LA Country Club in the Men's U.S. Open. A lot of talent in this family. Minwoo will be at Baltusrol next week, following his sister and cheering her on. What's in store here for Maguire?
It's just slightly downhill. This feels like one that Leona makes 9 times out of 10, if not 10 out of 10. And she knows where she stands in this tournament. She's come so close the last couple of years. I feel like she's going to make this one.
And you are correct. 10-time winner in her collegiate career at Duke University. Coach Dan Brooks said he basically left her alone her entire collegiate career because she knew what she was doing and didn't need his help. Kupcho at 16. Doesn't like it. Different than the one we saw through the first 7 holes today.
Yeah, she was all over the flag the first few holes, but struggling to find that same rhythm.
3 tied at the top at the Meijer LPGA Classic. Back at the 14th with 27-year-old Shi Yulin.
With that big drive, Kelly able to have a 6-iron in her hand coming into this par 5 and 2. And trying to, just didn't like the way she hit that. Didn't come out the way she was expecting.
Such a popular landing spot today. This fairway so firm. You've seen these big bounces they're getting off the tee. Amy Yang got a nice one.
She did, and she's dead center in the fairway, has a 5-iron in her hand. We've seen her come in with a little more club in general than Shi Yulin.
Center of 25.
Yeah, trying to hit that front number, Karen, and she hits that 5-iron so high. Look at that. Wow, even that, though, just skitters towards the back.
See if it comes back just a bit. Hasn't quite settled.
Maguire's tee shot, par 3 15th. You like it?
Yeah, maybe a little short. This hole's playing 155 today, and it's actually a little into the breeze when it blows. You know, it hasn't been that way all week.
Top tracer technology here on the tee. 15th with Ariya Jutanugarn. I mean, you think about that last hole. She snaps one off the tee, which was bounding for the penalty area, and gets that kick back into the fairway, makes birdie. I mean, if you're Shi Yulin, who's never won before, has come so close, and you don't end up getting it done today and Ariya wins, you watch this broadcast and you think, wow, maybe it's just not my destiny.
When am I going to get my break?
Yeah, I was thinking that, you know, if she goes on to win, I think she's going to keep that golf ball that has the tree marked on it.
Yeah.
This is a 9-iron for Ariya.
Oh, let it go right, did she?
I just don't think they can't necessarily feel this wind, but it's coming over the tree and it's knocking these balls down.
This is the defending champion for birdie at 16.
And this is the first time the players have seen this whole location on the front half of this green. It is very sloped from back to front.
Well, she's running out of holes. There is a par 5 ahead of her at the 18th. Kupcho fighting hard as our coverage continues. Back, and this is the third for Shi Yulin at 14. What a touch.
That was incredible, you guys. Off that tight lie, having to clip it just perfectly.
I think she's thinking, I've got to take matters into my own hands. None of these people hitting these lucky breaks out of trees. I'm just going to go make my own luck. We'll just try and do some chipping in.
Take a closer look, Karen.
Well, you can see she's on that little bit of an upslope. So he's going to add some loft. Had to land it so precisely just on the edge of the green there.
You get nervous with those high lofted clubs on those really tight lies, too. You have to be so precise. 15.
Ariya Jutanugarn just shy of the green as Shi Yulin writes down her birdie.
That was a tough putt. It was going to her right off the bat, and I believed it was going to come back left, and it just stayed out there.
I tell you, you know, the atmosphere here is brilliant, but that green at 14, you can't get to it. So there have been roars all around the golf course. That would have had a huge roar if it had been at 17 or 18, which won't reverberate around the rest of the field.
Amy Yang has not dropped a shot today. She birdied all 5 par 5s on this course yesterday, and this is for eagle.
She's had a boatload of birdies this week, but this would be for her first eagle, Kelly.
Looking pretty cool at the moment. And still another par 5 ahead at the 18th. Time for some insights now by KPMG ahead of this Women's PGA Championship. What is going well for her? Well, a lot this week compared to her previous 3 starts. I will say she had a chance at the year's first major, Karen, and couldn't get it done. Still waiting for her major, but all things looking great right now.
Well, the biggest one that sticks out there was that greens regulation stat. The best in her entire career has been 74% throughout the course of the year. So for her to be at 81%, pretty impressive.
Maguire to tie the lead.
Yeah, and I thought she would have learned something from Ariya's putt, but she kind of left hers out to the right also.
Right there, she's very good shape. 3 to go. She'll tap that to stay at 18 under.
And this to stay at 16 under for Kupcho. That was good to hear that little rattle in the cup. It was a dunk at number 5 earlier today. I happened to be sitting next to the green and heard it go in, but didn't get to see the shot, so slightly robbed, but still somewhat satisfied.
She wouldn't have seen it go in either. It's a blind tee shot.
That's right. It was a pitching wedge, and there weren't that many spectators around the green at the time, so you didn't really know for sure what had just happened. And she walked up so coolly and calmly and plucked it out of the cup and went on to birdie the next 2 holes.
They're playing in the 4th of the last group. This is one of the best attended events on the LPGA Tour. A lot of people focus around the J. Brewers, which is this huge hospitality pavilion. And they'll be coming out to the 18th to watch. Foot away.
This putt's moving right to left.
Look at a nice round of applause at 18. The 18 and 36 hole leader, foot away. Next weekend, the PGA Tour on CBS heads to the TPC River Highlands with a field featuring many of the world's top players, including Patrick Cantlay. Victor Hovland and Xander Schauffele competing at the Travelers Championship next weekend on CBS. Let's get back to 15.
An important putt for Ariya to remain at 18 under.
And Tom, she's been putting beautifully all week. The lone 3 putt came earlier today on number 12. She just needs to make a good putt here. It's inside the hole. This is one of those par 3s that if you make a birdie, you're most likely you're gaining 2 on the field. You can't afford to drop a shot here.
Yeah, it's okay. She's 1 back. She may well think back to that 14th hole if she goes on to win today. It was the tee shot that was left. You got the Rogue River down the left side, but then there's a little penalty area between the Rogue River and the fairway, and this was heading right towards that area. It hits the tree and comes back into the middle of the fairway. It meant that she had to play it as a 3-shot par 5, but even that couldn't stop her. She still made birdie.
Well, she went back to what she's been doing well so far this week. Hitting her wedge as well and rolling the ball into the hole.
Lady Luck on her side at the 14th, but will it be enough to take her to the winner's circle? Leona Maguire for her par.
And this is just a little cleanup. Nothing to it.
Okay. Leona, the first player from Ireland to win on the LPGA Tour. Think about the great players from Ireland in the men's game. Leona really flying the flag for women's professional golf in a country that is synonymous with the game. You think of how many times people want to take trips over to Ireland to play the great links courses. Well, Leona is a massive star. In fact,
I just like a regular.
Ireland has appeared on the equivalent of the nightly talk shows over there, and they really love her.
Yeah. Perfect.
See it, 15th, Amy Yang.
155 yards to the hole, but we're looking to land this about 150, like 6-7 paces on. Plenty of room right of the flag. keeping this just a little short right would be ideal. She's going with a 7-iron. A little bit of wind, but still up there, hurting slightly.
Very sheltered part of the course down here on the lower level. So figuring out the wind is always tricky in this area.
Really nice rhythm and tempo to that swing, but just comes up a little shy. Maybe caught that a little on the toe.
Quite a few players do that. Let's go to 16.
Great view here. What Leona Maguire is facing.
Just flicked over a little bit.
Those people like through the fairway, or are they on the fairway?
These people,
Yeah,
they're running down there, they're running across the course.
So after a good conversation, Angela, go through the shoot at this beautifully framed tee shot.
Yeah, I think for the first time all there's been wind here into the clear space. And I think that's what she wanted to make sure she had the proper target.
Ripped it.
Just like the last tee shot. Right down the middle.
Yulin on the tee. 15.
That wind definitely has intensified a bit. She going with 7-iron. This should be enough if she catches it solidly.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep. So the advantage of not going first there. Kind of get to see how the other person's ball flies and how the wind affects it.
And now she's got the iron that you mentioned out, Angela. Ariya Jutanugarn at 16.
I only know a few players that still carry a 2-iron. And Ariya's one of them. It's just love watching her hit the 2-iron.
Do you think she'd always meant to hit that on this hole, or was it because of the previous tee shot on the par 5 that she went to it?
I would think that she always meant for that, Angela.
Yeah, I think she wanted to keep it low since we were back into the wind.
This is at the 17th. Jennifer Kupcho, usually a good driver of the golf ball. Look at our insights by KPMG. Total driving ranks first in 2022. You can see the top 3 the last 3 seasons, just off this year, and she's driven it poorly at the 17th, left into the gallery. They've moved the tee up here today as well, Karen, and we've seen fewer bogeys here.
It makes it so much easier because even the shorter players can get down and get around the corner, because if you let your tee shot get a little bit down on the right side, you can be blocked out by the trees.
She cannot afford a drop shot here. With the way the leaderboard looks right now, she's got to make birdie here, in my opinion.
And then probably have an eagle on 18 too. So
Right.
Sit.
Way through. It's going to make it there. The defending champion Kupcho, a couple of bogeys on the back 9 have really hurt her here.
who's going to win?
Yulin does it.
I think she has.
After all the things you just said,
Yeah.
perhaps it's not my destiny. Maybe I'll never win. It's Yulin. I like Yulin.
Yes. She's going to win.
I mean, I think she's
great.
I want to play devil's advocate. All signs of her career, she's like on an escalator going up.
Right.
Even though she's not winning, everything she does is the next step to doing it. And that playoff loss,
Got to do it.
this is it, right? This is you. What'd you learn?
I mean, I think for me, it's like CBS audience, they don't know who she is. So you got to like get them in, you know, you got to tell them stuff. Yeah. People, well, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. It makes them want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like the Bill O'Reilly factor, in my opinion. People hated him, but they watched him.
Yes.
Everybody talked about him.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I hate Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, but you know who he is. You keep watching him. You're engaged.
I kind of didn't watch him.
Okay. Well, I never
But-
watched him either, but
But, you know, there's that.
I knew who he was.
Yeah. Know who he is, yes.
Yeah.
Leona.
This is
Maguire.
she's gonna post her best finish this year. Is that what she? That just is her best finish this year. What's she doing right now? So this will be her best finish of the year. Okay.
15th hole, and Amy Yang chipping from just short of the green.
Pretty straightforward chip and run shot. Might pull right at the end.
Chance to go. Be a par. Let's go up to the 18th.
So Korea's Hee-Jin Choi for birdie. Going to put up her best finish of the season. So far, it's a tie 13th. She's holding on a top 8 spot. Final round 67.
And that's something that she can take into next week's KPMG Women's PGA Championship too, you know, knowing that her game's in good order and that she doesn't have to try and find something the week of a major.
Yu Lin from Guangzhou, China, now living in Orlando. I sat next to her at a dinner earlier this year at the Hanwha Life Plus International Crown, and you know, she's kind of a great example of the American dream. She came from China. She said, I recently bought my first house in the Orlando area, and I kind of met my neighbors, and they were really excited that I was a golfer, and that, you know, they could follow me. And she said they, you know, keep an eye on my house when I'm away. And it was great to hear, you know, someone who's come over to the U.S., settled in, and you know, and built a really strong career here on the LPGA Tour. And today, if she could get this done, it would be a massive moment for her. I know there are a lot of people back in her neighborhood cheering her on right now.
Well, and her friend Leona Maguire, who won earlier this year on tour, that was her first LPGA Tour win. They're good friends from China. They vied for Olympic spots against each other over the years, and Yin said, I just did it, now it's your turn.
Got it. She remained tied for the lead.
And now at the 16th, this is Jutanugarn. What a beauty.
It looked good all the way. Balanced swing, controlled follow through.
155-yard par 4 today.
You have to do it. That whole location is almost on the downslope, so you have to control that spin. Otherwise, that ball can come ripping back off the green there.
Yang for par. Tied for the lead. 3 to play. To the 16th.
Seeing some quality shot making down the stretch here.
All three of these players were within 5 yards of each other off the tee. Always fun to hear claps at the green.
They're fueling off of each other, Angela.
And Angela's saying it's good to hear claps up at the greens because you can't see how close that ball is when you're down on the fairway. So if you get a loud round of applause up there, you know it's pretty good. She loves this fight, Leona.
Kupcho was long of the green, pitch to here. This try and salvage a par.
Oh! Nice.
The difference between the front 9 and the back 9 for Kupcho today. Good 18.
Jasmine Suwanapura for birdie on the home hole, which played as the easiest last year. The first hole, the most difficult.
She's won on the LPGA Tour. She won in Toledo.
going back to Toledo next month, as well as coming back to Michigan for the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational. Great look through the trees here on the tee at 16. Amy Yang.
This is not a long hole, but it has a hard dog leg left. Amy going with 3-wood. The further right you hit it, a little bit longer second you'll have in. Well, she has pulled this with a draw, heading towards a big tree near the bunker on the left.
I mean, she bounced away from the tree, but I don't know how easy a second shot that's going to leave her. I think that could be some trouble.
Well, that was a big mistake. She missed her target by about 25, 30 yards. Basically, the target is the leaderboard down all the way through the fairway. And like Angela said, a little different feel on this hole today. It's typically been downwind. Now it's back into the wind.
Now Jiu.
Yep. Excellent. Right down the middle.
Fairway metal with a ever so baby fade. It won't roll out as much, but very well placed. She bogeyed her first hole of the day, and it's been full steam ahead since. Over to 17.
Again with the Spaniard, Carlota Segunda. 1 under for the day. I'll make it 2 under. Just outside of the top 10.
And over at 16, Ariya Jutanugarn is lining up a birdie putt. But this was the scene just a moment ago, trying to walk up this hill we've been talking about.
It looks like me walking up the hill, Kelly. I've enjoyed riding in the cart up the hill this week.
There you are. Could you have given her a ride? I mean, that's just so rude.
I just took my hand out.
Well, hopefully she's feeling okay. That's quite the hike.
Good news is that's the last hill she can come up.
She lit out from the fairway and that putt. And she hit all sides of the hole.
She's probably having mixed feelings about this back nine, getting that great break on 14, and then unfortunately not able to make that drop. Well, CBS Thursday joined Marcia Gay Harden and Skylar Aston in the show the critics call the best new show. Help yourself to an exciting episode of So Help Me Todd, Thursday at 9/8 Central on CBS. Back to the 16th and a par effort here for Ayaka Fudaway.
I tell you, she did a good job to keep it that close to the hole, cutting down the hill for birdie.
One place you don't want to be on that 16th is above the hole. It's exceptionally quick.
Now this for Leona Maguire. She's 9 under on this back nine for the week. So an even split front to back. Leona Maguire now 10 under on the back nine this week and tied at the top, looking for the win. Tightly packed leaderboard here at the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give in Belmont, Michigan. Leona Maguire just picked up another birdie to join this trio at the top. Jiu Lin of China, Amy Yang, South Korean native who's been playing on tour for 16 years, has 4 wins, but hasn't tasted victory in about 4 years as an individual. So she is looking to win for the first time within these U.S. borders. But still anyone's game as we catch up with Jiu. Got a great look here.
And she's dead set in the middle of the fairway, and with this front hole location, a much easier second, because at least you can see the flagstick as opposed to when it's all the way in the back and you have a truly blind second. And with Amy Yang in some trouble. Good opportunity here to hit another one in close with a 9-iron. Good from down here.
It was a lovely hold-off finish. That trickling on to the apron over to 17.
Yeah, the team moved up about 40 yards. Leona Maguire.
And Tom, today, if they go at that tree, it's only 270 to go through the fairway. So they need to be careful.
Yeah.
And it looks like she did that. Maybe bouncing down to the right, down that slope.
Heading down towards the flatter part of the fairway. Drive. Let's go to 16.
What's in store here for Amy Yang, Kay?
Amy was very fortunate in that she's far enough away from that large tree to her left that she can have an unimpeded swing. Her lie is decent in the rough. She's got to bring the trajectory of this 9-iron down just a little bit. 106 yards to the front, playing uphill.
It's got a challenge, Karen, when you have a zippy lie out of the rough, hitting into an uphill situation. You've got to gauge that.
It is. It's more. It's going to be like
oh goodness! It hit to the left and ricocheted off the tree, and now it's in the deep stuff. Now it's going to be difficult to possibly find it, and should have a low percentage of chance to get it out of this next lie.
You think about the break that Jutanugarn got on 14. This is the total opposite situation. Couldn't be much worse.
wow. I'm completely floored because it looked like all she had to do was just hit a little chippy 9-iron up to the right front.
Karen, it was not that difficult a shot.
Going into the rough.
I think that was her trying to do too much from there, trying to be too perfect.
It could be.
87. So that's 92.
We'll check back over to 17.
And the tee shot for Ariya Jutanugarn.
It's a 3-wood. And this is going left again with this 3-wood.
Wow, it's going to go right. Beautiful gallery there. People jumping out of the way. It's going to be in the rough, but not terrible.
The ball has a fairway magnet on it.
Yeah.
Now the third for Yang. Kay, this is not pretty.
No, but at least she found the ball, and it's actually at the very edge of that tall fescue. Should be able to get a club on it. Oh, but barely advancing it out of that rough, across the cart path. It's going to be, now she's got still a great up and down ahead of her to make the bogey 5.
Almost looked like she decelerated a bit there, Karen.
Yep.
But let's go back to the second shot.
Well, you can see the ball's really below her feet. Oh, and she just didn't keep the elevation of that shot down. You cannot allow that ball to get up in the air like that.
Like a very tentative swing on her second. And really, honestly, the same on her third. Not really attacking these shots.
No, and I think, you know, we've seen a couple of players. Yesterday we saw Ayaka Fudaway in a similar kind of spot down the left side. And players that don't normally get into trouble off the tee, that are normally very straight players, not really knowing the trajectories of their clubs, how high they're going to fly when they're in certain situations. That ball was obviously on a little bit of an upslope, so it's going to add loft to that club, and just, she's in a terrible spot.
When you're making a mess like this, though, how do you collect yourself in the throes of this?
Everything seems to be rushing quickly, so you just have to take a few deep breaths and take it back to basics. Okay, what am I doing right now? In this moment, what's the most important thing? Okay, this is the shot right now. Mentally, you have to just regroup right now.
So difficult when things have been going along so easily, and then you're just dealt this really challenging mental hurdle to get over. A 40-yard shot.
Very happy.
Nicely executed. Gives her an outside shot to make a bogey.
With a par 5 still ahead. She's handled those holes beautifully this week. This will be a guaranteed first drop shot since number 13 yesterday. She has been so steady until now. While we have a moment, I'll remind you that coming up next, we move from the course to the pitch as our Women's Sports Sunday concludes with women's soccer action in the NWSL between Racing Louisville FC and New Jersey, New York, Gotham FC. That's coming up next on CBS. Back to the 16th, and Shiyu Lin is watching all of this as she is going along so nicely, trying, Karen, to not look. What is she doing?
Well, I think that she's really just got to stay in her own game right now and try and make sure that she's doing the best she can. And obviously, if this putt goes in the hole for her, Kay, this would be a huge blow to Amy.
And there's got to be a level of empathy that she's feeling, because she and Amy are quite good friends and they work with the same coach. But she has to put that behind her now and just focus on this putt, which is difficult. You'll have some right to left movement and be on the speedy side. And she babied it.
That to be the first to get to 20 under this week. The tournament record in relation to par is 25 under, so we're nowhere near that. Still some remarkable golf this week. We'll keep it right here for a very important bogey putt.
And Karen, this is a point when you know you have to make this putt. Bogey, you can manage. She can make up the shots for a bogey, not a double at this point. But yet you can't think about the outcome. You just have to think of this putt. How do I want to hit it? Where do I want to start it? With what speed?
It's so hard to turn off that internal dialogue, though, and that feeling that you get in your stomach, Kay, that I could have just messed everything up. You've somehow got to find a way to just, as you were saying, zero in on the process of this putt.
I really didn't see that coming. I did not see a double bogey based on where her drive ended up.
Well, she is down. Not quite out. Still some time to recoup some of his loss as we go to Maguire.
Second shot at the 17th. Great position off the tee.
That was a great tee shot. She has 102 total. Looks good.
Yeah, staring it down.
Oh, yeah. Right at the bar.
That's going to leave her a really good look at birdie to get to 20 under par. Ariya Jutanugarn drove it left, remember, and this is the angle she has. Doesn't look too bad, Angela.
No, she got away with a clean lie. It's running away from her, but if anybody has the strength to get it up and out of here, carry, she does.
Yeah. Outside chance for a birdie. Little concern there that I think that might be John Metney. They're almost falling over the rope. She was concerned, but he's all right.
Well, this is far from academic, Kay.
No, at this point, these are the types you might give your buddies at home for a friendly match, but this is the difference between high-level professional golf. You have to hole out everything. And these courts should be made, but who can do it when it matters?
She is at 19 under still and tied with a determined Leona Maguire, who finished second in this tournament each of the last 2 years, looking to go one better.
The birdie putt here at the 17th for Ariya Jutanugarn.
The good news is, Tom, it is downhill, moving a little left to right.
Good luck. It's running out of speed. She's going to remain one back. Go to the 18th.
And an outside chance for eagle for the defending champion. That'll roll out just a bit more, so that left to get to 16 under. Still a great run by last year's winner.
Leona Maguire to edge ahead, a birdie putt here at the 17th.
I can't imagine this putt has a ton in it. Maybe left edge, left center.
It falls, and Leona Maguire is out in front at 20 under par, trying to win an event that she's come so close to winning in the last 2 seasons. The course suits her eye, reminds her a little bit of being back home in Ireland. Go to the tee at the 17th, and Shi Yulin, one back.
Well, she knows that she's ahead of Yang and her other fellow competitor Ash Buhai, but she won't have known what Leona has just done.
Yep. Keep going.
Just going towards the right edge of that bunker. And I've seen a few shots have kind of gone through the fairway here, which is easy to do.
She hit that fella in the chair and it bounced back towards the fairway, so I wonder if that's going to help her. We'll see when Kay gets up there to take a look. Shi Yulin one behind, trying to win for the first time. It's Leona Maguire out in front.
Back with a birdie putt for Jennifer Kupcho. Had a wonderful run at a title defense. This to get to 16 under. She really enjoys the state of Michigan. Won here last year in this tournament. Unfortunately not connecting there. Also captured the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational, a team event with her partner Lizette Salas, which does count toward her count of tour victories.
Not going to be her week this week, but she can take that form into next week.
Absolutely.
The tee at the 17th, Amy Yang. This one looks to be in good shape. Is it going to stay on the fairway?
With that tee being moved up, Tom, it makes it a lot easier to stay on the fairway because you can carry over a lot of that downhill to the right.
Well, hopefully she can keep her mind quiet, Leona Maguire, as she wasted her tee shot. She's gone 5 under in her last 5 holes, Karen, beginning with this birdie at 13.
Well, it was really where she to start to do something. She was starting to fall a little bit behind. She definitely likes the fight. She likes to be in the battle.
She mentioned before this round to watch her second at 14. Today was about finding that perfect balance of being aggressive, being on the attack, but not making silly decisions.
And she's kind of owned this back nine. In the past few years that I've watched her play here, she's always come on fire on this back nine, and she's doing it again.
Got the eagle at 14, following the birdie at 13, got par at 15, and here she is at 16 for her second.
And this shot plays so much uphill. You can't see the surface of the green. You have to rely on the distance control. This was pretty perfect.
The only thing better would have been in. And on to the 17th, trying to be the first player this week to get to the mark of 20 under. She looks like she's on a mission, and she is.
She put a tee shot in the perfect position.
4 top 10s this season. It's not like you couldn't see it coming, but when you look at what she's done the last 2 seasons here, finishing second in Ellie Quarta a couple of years ago and then losing in a playoff after missing a 2-foot putt to keep her playoff hopes alive. It was insane how she lost it last year. She walked off that green. She was furious and heartbroken, but look at the bounce back so far.
This is where Shi Yulin finished up.
About 90 to the end of that fairway.
I'm not sure she realizes that the ball ricocheted off one of the two gentlemen sitting in a chaise lounge, a little
these trees are in play. You'd be able to keep it down to the center. The other shots are a little
closer, which definitely has
I
helped.
think it's a tight play. Get it to chase there, through the middle.
If I go through the right side, is it going to be a hardship?
Through the right side runs down, but that's past the pin.
Well, we have a lot of room.
You have room. You have more than the pin. You have 30 to the back, in line where those two chairs are. I was looking to keep it down myself. I think number one, we keep it down. We get it up. We get this up and down. All right, 103 is front.
I don't think
You
she
just
can get very close
trust
to
your
this
touch
hole.
here.
No, they're looking, she's going to be playing this more to the flat part of the green, more to the right side of the green, because the branches coming out are protecting her direct line to the flagstick. But caddy reiterating 103 yards to the front, so she's looking to hit sort of like a 10-yard shot. Interesting that she would choose to go low and closer to the line of the flagstick, and now leaving herself in the rough with not an easy up and down.
I think that some of that, Kay, comes down to acceptance too. Sometimes you have to accept not being able to attack the flag, have to play to a safer side, and even I think if she had no tree trouble, it would have been really difficult to get the ball close to the hole, because we've seen players with more club head speed, get more spin on their ball than her, not be able to stop it within 30 feet of that flag anyway.
Now on the 18th, Leona Maguire trying to put up a number and say, come and get me. She's 20th in the Rolex rankings, 20th in the world. Watch this shot with our top tracer technology.
I talked to her caddy earlier today. They don't hit driver here because they can't carry the bunker that you can see on the right out there. So they try to make sure they can keep it in the fairway to have a shot into the green.
And actually, she's been able to hit the green every day with a fairway wood from that fairway spot that she's just hit it to.
Keep it right here for Ariya Jutanugarn. What's going through her mind here, Angela?
I think she's thinking she's got to get it in the fairway. She's got to get it over this bunker, and she's got to make eagle. That's all she can do at this point. And she did hit 3-wood pitching wedge into this green yesterday, so I think if anybody could make eagle here, I would put my money on her.
Gone to the fairway left, I think.
Another shot, this to the left.
A moment ago, Amy Yang second at the 17th.
Sandwich in hand, she's got to be very aggressive. Try to make birdie eagle.
Stop on it, maybe a putt for a birdie.
And on the 18th tee, this is Ayaka Furue. Birdied it every day. We've just seen 3 eagles so far on 18. Will we have one more today? If we get one, it's going to be beautiful.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, the leaderboard, everybody's still pretty bunched in there. Leona Maguire, obviously, with the upper hand right now.
The ball's over close to where Dave Boydman, the caddy, who's standing, and that's a great look at the angle that she faces for this third shot, Kay. It's not great coming out of the rough.
No, it's a terrible angle. She has to carry it at least like 4/5 of the way there and have it land softly, but that's not a guarantee out of this rough. The rough where she is a little dried out, so there is a chance she can get this up and have a little bit of spin on it. But she would have been much happier if she was way over on the right-hand side of this green on the putting surface with a long putt instead of having to get this up and in from the rough.
Huge moment for her. Needs to get this up and down.
Caught way too much ball. And Karen, that's probably what she was thinking. I want to hit it a little too firmly rather than undercut it and end up in the bunker.
Yeah, you have to err on the side of one of them, but you have to catch it so precisely. I mean, she's just sabotaged herself there, really. I mean, all can be forgiven with a good putt, right? Coming up now, but
yeah. But still, you don't want to be pushing to try and make a par from 17 from that kind of distance when you're one behind, trying to win for the first time. And the thoughts, I'm sure, going through your head of, is this where I lose it? Is this where I don't? You know.
And I have to think that it was almost unlucky that she hit the chair, because I think if she misses the guy in the chair, it runs through farther and she avoids the tree trouble altogether.
So many ifs and buts in this game, right, Karen?
Isn't that the truth?
But just focus on the task at hand here, Kay, and make this one. This is massive for her.
That's why golf is such a constant mental challenge. You have to be accepting of what has happened, even though it's not what you wanted. It's the reality, and her reality is she's got to try to make a 25-footer now for par, or she's going to drop back to 18 under.
Yeah, and then you've got to be thinking that Maguire's going to make a birdie, at least a birdie on 18. So this one is vital for her chances.
It's ever so slightly downhill initially and then flattens out. So really overall not a tremendously fast putt. And it feels like it wants to pull to the right just a bit.
By, and maybe her chances of winning are slipping away. This hole playing easier today than it has done all week, but it's going to be a bogey for Chi Yu Lin at exactly the wrong time here, and she's going to fall back to 18 under par and 2 behind. She's going to need something very, very special on that closing hole. Let's take a look from this angle. It's just too far left.
It was. And it was trying to make that turn, but I mean, it was too much. I mean, you put yourself in a tough spot with the chip. I mean, at least you gave yourself a chance of the putt, but
the 18th. This is the third for Hyoju Kim. Straightforward pitch shot. She handles it with a great touch. Kick in birdie for her here.
Even the hard chip shots aren't too hard for her. She's pretty solid around the greens.
But another must-make putt. This is Amy Yang to get to 18 under par.
Yeah, bailed out a little bit to the right with that sand wedge, leaving her this 15-footer slightly downhill. Not much movement.
Run out of speed there. Wow. It's going to need the shots of her life, I think, with her second at 18 to have any chance to hold it. Even that might not be good enough.
No, I think Chi Yu Lin's going to be having to think about holding it too, because I can't see Leona Maguire not making birdie.
All right. all the contenders, she has
don't even
looked.
quite reach the green. I mean, like if you said to me,
or am I better hitting smooth side?
I mean, do we have to like just a little bit of number so it's like 209. So before it's too much, it takes, or if we can get it on that side. Do you know what I mean? So, but, like, if you forget about the number, tell me what you're seeing. Tell me what you're seeing. What is your instinct? Like if you see it down to the middle of the green, it's a 5 wood, or if you see it down at the flag, it's a 9. Neither of them are wrong. Alright. So full traffic start at the flag, yeah? Go on, let's run a minute over.
Angela, I'm looking around for a scoreboard of some type on the property. Don't see one. Does she know where she stands right now?
I don't think she knows for sure. I bet she thinks she's near the top, but I can't imagine she knows for sure. That was 221 to the hole location.
Big skip.
I'm surprised that's short. I mean, they stood here and talked about a couple different thoughts. I thought she would at least try to get it into the green.
She eagled this hole on Friday, birdied it yesterday. This is the position for Jutanugarn. What kind of look does she have here?
She has 175 to the front. Because she hits it so high, and she can hit it any way she wants to hit it, she is going with an 8-iron. I'm thinking she's going to try to hook this a little bit.
It overcooked. Did a break off that microphone? No. If anything, it steered it more offline. But right now, it's the Leona Maguire show. The Meijer LPGA Classic. Game face. See if she gets it done. Things coming down to the wire here. 18th tee. This is Shiyu Lin.
She's birdied it every day, but she may need something more than that. And it starts here with a good drive. 260 to carry that bunker. I imagine she'll play a little bit left of the fairway sand.
It's going to take a big one for her to carry it.
And that's 2 left tee shots in the last 2 holes.
A lot of those from a few of these contenders, including Jutanugarn. This is her third at 18.
Yeah, she has a good lie. She just didn't carry it enough there, but yeah, it's kind of a frustrating way for her to end this tournament, I think.
This is going to be her first top 10 of the season as an individual. She did help her native Thailand to a victory at the International Crown, the team event. Top 10s this season, so effort by Jutanugarn. Now Leona Maguire.
I think she just needs to figure out what shot she's going to hit. It's about 22 yards total to this hole location.
Amazing. Unflappable. Leona Maguire needs to tap that in for birdie, and it's nearly lights out for the rest of the contenders. Barring a miracle by Yang or Lin.
Not the easiest of situations. You don't have a huge amount of green to use. But she just the right spot. Good use of the bounce of the flag, slide underneath it.
You've heard of players finishing runner-up and coming back to win the event a year later, but finishing runner-up and then runner-up again, losing in a playoff, and then coming back to win, that speaks volumes to the toughness of her mind.
Oh, No doubt about it. I mean, there is no tougher competitor than Leona Maguire. I've got a chance to watch it up close and personal at the Solheim Cup. And I was part of the helpers of the European team. She was in my little group. And I tell you something, every single one of those European team players wanted her with the ball in her hand if it really mattered.
Such a pedigreed player. Trending always in the right direction. Now this for birdie for Ariya Jutanugarn.
And I think she wants to make a good putt here, make this last birdie, and take it into the major next week at Baltushaw.
To close out the weekend. Look at her opening score. She was outside the top 100. She nearly won from that position. It's been since 1980 and Julie Inkster that someone has come from that far back to win a golf tournament. She was looking into the eyes of history here for a moment. And even with Leona Maguire poised for victory, this was the reaction by her on Jutanugarn's putt. Very selfless, enjoying the moment. But back to business now. This is a Yakafur away for birdie.
And she can take a lot from this week. She's been so close all year. And just a really tough weekend for her, but she'll regroup and go again.
She led after 18 and 36 holes. As we mentioned at the top of this broadcast, Karen, that back nine yesterday was what sent her in the wrong direction. She just couldn't recover.
No, sometimes you just can't fight momentum. And that's the one thing that she had going against her. She was trying to ride the hot putter, and that did just come along the second half of this tournament.
She does have an LPGA Tour victory in still a young career. It came in Scotland last year. Caddy is a Scot, so that was a lovely story for the two. She closes the tournament the way Jutanugarn opened it. Opposing bookends for these two. Now the stage is set for Leona Maguire, trying to win for the second time on the LPGA Tour. She will tap in, feeling very good about her position. Second at 64. The year that she lost to Nelly Korda, Nelly fired a 62 in the middle of the week to overtake her and didn't look back. Last year she was in the playoff with Nelly Korda and Jennifer Kupcho and missed a 2-foot putt for birdie on the second playoff hole to give the tournament to Kupcho. And she came back fighting, and here she is.
Well, and really from the 13th hole onwards where this has really materialized for her.
And now back in the left rough at 18. Lynn, who's at 18 under, would need to hold this K, and she's just trying to figure out what to do with it.
You know, it's actually going to be possible because she does have a decent lie in the rough, 191 yards to the front, 203 to the hole. So it's not beyond possibility, although a very low percentage chance of it going in. But at this point, anything's possible, and you got to believe so.
She's been on tour since 2014. Yeah. She's been steadily improving her game. She had a playoff loss earlier this season. Not long ago, she continues to build on these positive experiences. 3 times a runner-up, and here she is with another teaching moment.
Yeah, she had such a great year last year. I mean, she made a lot of cuts, only missed one cut. She had 6 top 10 finishes along with those second place finishes. So she's really trending in the right direction. She's got a 4 hybrid in hand, which is a great club to help get loft up and over that tree in the distance. To get there. No. I think that wind just held it up a little bit. That picked up hurting slightly.
Valiant effort, though. She's in the territory that Leona was in just a few moments ago.
Yep. She'll have to chip that one in for an eagle. Still not be enough.
About the 17th hole for a while. And there is your winner of the 2023 Meijer LPGA Classic, a fitting champion by a gritty and smart golfer. Leona Maguire, at the age of 28. Getting her second victory on the LPGA Tour. Now Amy Yang finishing up this round what could have been for the 54-hole leader. 199 to the hole.
4 paces ahead from where she hit.
Turn.
She's trying to get that to draw a little bit, but it stayed pretty dead straight.
It's a series of unfortunate breaks for the likes of Jutanugarn and Amy Yang. An untimely bogey by Lynn at 17. It was Leona Maguire who just kept getting better and better as the round went on.
Well, you think about it, the birdie at 13, eagle at 14, birdie at 16 and 17 and 18. I mean, that is putting the hammer down. That's like, I'm going to finish this off and finish strong. We talked about keeping the foot on the gas. She did just that.
As we mentioned, a 10-time collegiate winner at Duke University, a 4-time first-team All-America. Was the ACC Player of the Year 3 times, won the ACC Championship 3 times.
Just right across the field.
She won in every season she played there, from freshman all the way through to senior.
Just going to go and get this right, though.
And also a winner of the Annika Award as the nation's best female golfer in 2015 and 2017. She continues to get better, and with 2 majors on the horizon, the immediate horizon, she is an ambassador for KPMG. Coming in with victory, what is it going to be like for her next week?
Well, there's obviously going to be a lot of media attention surrounding her. She's going to have a lot of sponsor obligations as well. But for her personally, going in there, knowing that you've just come off a victory, your confidence is going to be sky high. And she has to consider herself now as one of the favorites going into that championship.
One of the nicest people you'll ever meet, too. By the way, just teeming with talent, personally and athletically. Ashley Buhai, who began the day with a chance, the most recent winner on tour, finishing up here at 18th.
Not the best start to her day, Kelly, but she hung in there, managed to get a birdie at 12 and 14. Yep. And she's someone that you definitely have to talk about when you're speaking about potential winners next week at the KPMG. She's elevated herself to another level with confidence and belief, and she has an all-round great game.
It's just not easy going and winning in back-to-back weeks. It takes a lot of mental emotion out of you to go ahead and get a victory, and then to turn it around the following week and do the same thing. Okay, it's just hard.
Sit. She looked a little flat today, to be honest.
You can ride the adrenaline early in the week, but as the week goes on, you just get a little bit more tired every single day.
It's been quite a year for her as well. 4 victories around the world in her last 10 months. She's coming into the best form of her life in her mid-30s. It's neat to see her blossoming, even though it's later in life, right now.
It's the same as it's always been, like, for the last...
Stephanie Meadow there. Stephanie played Alabama. Northern Ireland.
This is our final grouping
Swapping numbers, we might want to talk a little loud over this part so the nation doesn't get her cell phone number.
From China.
This is the world we live in, I guess.
And Ashley Beehive from South Africa.
Really looking forward to Baltusrol and the lower course. A lot of the gals have been sneaking in some practice rounds ahead of this week to get a feel for the place, and a lot of rave reviews.
There's a lot of history surrounding there, and I think the players really appreciate the fact that they're going to be going to a test that has that history around it.
Great history with Jack Nicklaus, Mickey Wright. Wrist is deep. And now Jiu Lin, her third at 18.
And this is an important up and down for her. Although she's not going to win the tournament, up and in will tie her for second, another second on her resume.
I think if you're Jiu Lin too, you kind of take away from this week is that I've played well, I've come back from being sick, I've put myself in a position to win again. I'm going into a major championship in great form. And a lot of players go and win their first major championship having had a really good week before. They go in and they take that momentum. So I would not be surprised to see her play well next week.
Thank you. There she is. I don't even know where they are. I can't even tell where they are.
A lot of attention surrounding Leona Maguire, but don't forget her twin sister Lisa Maguire, who also played at Duke alongside her. Very talented golfer in her own right. This family is so close and so talented. Now Yang.
Opportunity to chip in here. And she has 81 top 10s in her career. Kelly, I guess she's going to end up with her 82nd.
That's right. You know, still waiting for that first win, as you noted at the top of the show, Kay, on American soil. She's won 4 times, including a couple in Thailand. Her last victory coming in 2019. It's been nearly 1,600 days. It is a game of patience, but that's particularly special patience she's practicing right now.
It is. I think she's got her sights set on major championships. I think that's the one thing that she really feels is missing from her resume. And her game really is built for it. But those little errors that crept in there coming down the stretch, that really didn't need to happen. Whether it's a lapse of concentration, whether it's a realizing that you're close to the finish line and just not pushing through that finishing line to get the win. She has to figure out how to overcome that.
And that was the story, Kay, for Beehive for years in her younger career. She's been playing the game for nearly 20 years, but was struggling, as you said, with self-belief. So she worked with a mind coach and really picked it all apart, started with the personal life, tackled what was going on there, and then took it over to her game. And look what it's done for her, just compartmentalizing everything she does and checking boxes to know she's prepared for every shot.
Exactly. Focusing on what's at hand, not really thinking about the outcome, and just being professional about each and every shot. And also when she makes a mistake or it doesn't go her way, letting that roll off her back. Much stronger mentally now than she was even 2 years ago.
Every great athlete will tell you they don't learn from their victories, they learn from their losses. And in this game, you lose so much more than you win. Look no further than your newest champion at the Meijer LPGA Classic, with the 2 close calls in each of the last 2 years. But she learned something. It's clearly obvious that happened, and now she can call herself champion. So hopefully Jiu Lin, like Buhai and Maguire, is learning from these close calls and could parlay that into victory in the near future.
This year has been pretty consistent for Jiu Lin. Just missed 1 cut. She's played a lot of weekends. Just 1 top 10. This will be her 2nd top 10. But like you said, she's trending in the right direction.
You have to be a little pragmatic about it. You cannot take it personally. You have to X's and O's. What do I do right? What do I do wrong? How do I fix it?
Well, she spent a little money with that putt and a few points as well, but still a very impressive showing by Xiyu Lin. 3 over 4 rounds, 68. A sparkling 66 on Saturday to surge into contention. The 7-year-old patiently waits for that breakthrough victory. And to finish at 18 under. Well, she'll go back and look at the tape. She'll study what she did there. 4 rounds in the 60s, a lovely showing nonetheless. The day belongs to Leona Maguire, and our coverage continues. Massive respect for 28-year-old Leona Maguire, the Irish woman, winning by 2 at the Meijer LPGA Classic for Simply Give. Cannot be stated enough. She lost at a playoff here last year, finished second year before, and now she is the champion. She's with Angela Stanford.
Thank you, Kelly. I'm standing here with the champion, Leona Maguire. Leona, you've come so close the last 2 years. How did you get the job done this year?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've taken different things from both years, and I've been playing some really good golf leading into this week, and just tried to be patient. It was nice to go bogey-free, I think, on Sunday, and my goal today was to get to 20 under, and it's nice to even go one better than that.
So players know the first win is special. This is your second. What does it mean to win the second?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I felt like I played some really good golf last year, missed out in a playoff here, second at CME, and you have to play really good golf to win out here. It's tough, so yeah, it's a really nice feeling to get this one, and especially heading into the majors that we've got coming up.
Speaking of, you're sponsored by KPMG. We're rolling into the KPMG Women's PGA. I mean, it's an obvious question, but what do you take into major season now?
Yeah, I feel like my game's been in really good shape. I had my coach over last week, which was nice, fine-tuned a few things. He's, I think, in the air right now on his way to Newark, so catch up with him again next week. And yeah, just try more of the same. I think stay patient and keep giving myself as many chances as I can.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Back to you, Kelly.
She will be getting a lot of attention next week, and really for the future. 6 under in her last 6 holes, and she will now surge to 6th in the race to the CME Globe. Leona Maguire making a big move here just outside of Grand Rapids. Let's take one more look at this winning putt. A little up and down to get to 21 under and win for the second time on the LPGA Tour. Stay with us. Yeah. Nothing. I don't even want to go there. It's fine. All good. I had a thought, but it's too much. My brother just texted, "We're back at Jay Brewers." Of course you are. WSL. We did. Did you throw it away? Okay, good deal, good deal. We got extra time, so. Coming up next, we move from the course to the pitch. as our Women's Sports Sunday concludes with women's soccer action in the NWSL between Racing Louisville FC and New Jersey New York Gotham FC. That is coming up next on CBS. Great finish here in Belmont, Michigan on a gorgeous late spring day. Leona Maguire winning by 2 with a round of 64, closing this tournament in a 6-hole stretch of 6 under par. While we have a moment, let's catch up with Kay Cockrell, who's with Shiyu Lin.
Thanks very much, Kelly. I know you and a lot of players were so hungry for this victory. You've had 4 second-place finishes in your career. What could you have done a little bit differently to have a different outcome down the stretch?
I don't know. I think just need some time, and I'm extremely proud of myself this week. I think I done everything I could do, and this is golf. I mean, I think when I entering today, I know it needs a really low one to get the work done, and unfortunately I couldn't quite get it going at the beginning of the day. But I think overall I stayed really patient and I executed really well everything. So I think overall it's a good week, and I know my time is coming, but just need to be patient.
Why not make your first win a major? We have the second major next week at the KPMG. Thoughts on what you potentially could do there, because everything in your game looked pretty darn solid today.
Yeah, I think, like I said, like I had a little bit downtime during funders and match play, so kind of regroup a little bit. And while I was ready, then I had COVID last week. So I mean, coming out of COVID is not easy. So I think like I'm very proud of myself the way I grind out the whole week, and I'm so glad to see what we kind of talk about last 2 weeks has started to work again, and everything's gonna pay off. So I'm just gonna keep trying.
Keep that positive attitude, and who knows what'll happen. Thanks for the time. Back to you, Kelly.
Yeah, perhaps her week is coming soon, Kay. She is certainly trending in the right direction, but the week right now is all about Leona Maguire. We talked about this closing stretch. Electric it was. Karen, taking you back to kicked it off.
Well, what is quite remarkable is that she had it in her mind.
So now 2 wins in a still young career at the age of 28. And we'll be talking more about her performance in majors, I think, here going forward.
No question about it.
It is Maguire by 2. And a lovely defense of her title by Jennifer Kupcho, who beat Maguire in that playoff last year. We'll see her defending another title in the state of Michigan next month, the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational. Great competition as always in this already storied event. Everyone who's won here has become a major champion, so that bodes well for Leona Maguire with 2 on the immediate horizon. Coming up next is the NWSL. We want to congratulate all of the contenders, but most importantly, Leona Maguire, who showed up when she needed it the most. A fiery finish, going 6 under in her last 6 holes, Meijer LPGA Classic champion for Simply Give. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports in association with the LPGA.